you're going to say something like, in 24 months, you could be a millionaire. Boom. So you want to make a video for your business and you just find yourself saying, I want content, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing to make it. And that is a question that a lot of people struggle with, is what am I making content about? And if you don't know, then you find yourself in this loop of thought, a series of sitting in front of a camera saying the same thing over and over and over again. Really, you end up with a whole bunch of non-usable content that you could never put up. So I want to go over the concept of content today. And there's a lot of pictures here. I just like to animate things and make them come to life in your mind based on the visuals that you see. So again, I try to say I want to make this fast, but I go deeper into these things in my Marketing Mix 2026 that will be released at the end of this year in December. So without further ado, let's get going. So every piece of content that we have is a tool for awareness and promotion. Nothing that you do in marketing is going to be outside of the idea of promotion and awareness. You just can't possibly create any marketing material for just promotion. It might sound like, oh, I'm just promoting. No, you're promoting a project, you're promoting a product, you're promoting a process, a service, but you can't help but make the person viewing that aware that your business exists. And the same goes in the other direction. If you're trying to put something out about awareness, you have to talk about what it is you do. So there's promotion in that as well. So remember that every piece of content that you're going to put together is going to already be packed at the base with awareness and promotion. So those are the baseline goals that we cover when we talk about content for a business. If you find yourself saying, well, I just really want to promote this thing, don't wrestle yourself with whether or not this is a brand awareness or promotion thing. It's just not necessary. And I say that because sometimes people, they waste a lot of time thinking about what it's about and what it's for. So another thing we need to know, MQB, who is our minimum qualified buyer? Who is our minimum qualified buyer? It's not everybody. A lot of times we hear people, well, I want to make money, so I'm selling to everybody. But not everybody fits this category here. Not everybody has everything on the checklist. If you're talking to somebody that doesn't have the means to execute on the service that you provide, like they can't take the entire journey, they might not be the person you need to be making content targeted to. Your content needs to target to a person who is ready to do everything that you offer, and they also can afford what it is you offer, or they even feel like the amount of money that they have to part with aligns with their lifestyle goals. So somebody who is lower to middle class, even upper middle class, may be spending money on certain things and not be like a person in the super rich realm where if you price it too low, they won't see the value in it. So you have to make sure your minimum qualified buyer has all of the things that they need to execute and enjoy or experience and, fully fulfill what you are offering to them. And they also need to have the funds to do so. Because what you end up with is somebody who, if you advertise to the wrong person, it hits them, they don't care. They don't know anything about this content is this, I saw this, whatever. It doesn't resonate with them. Another thing too, when you find somebody that you think is your minimum qualified buyer, they get it, and then they don't understand the process. They never understood it from the first place. They knew one aspect of it, but they couldn't follow through. So now they had a bad experience, and now they're back to dragging your brand. they're back to saying this service was terrible. I can't get any, I would never recommend this to anybody because this, that, and the other. But in the beginning, they never really understood the value of the service you offer in the first place. So how do we find those people? Well, when you see the word pain in any type of marketing information, I hope that it doesn't come across as like, oh, we're targeting people at their pain. No. Let's be clear. It's something that they don't want to deal with. Or if I don't like cutting grass, I want a landscaper. If I don't have the skills to work on the electric system of my house, I need an electrician. So that's where we come in and we're talking about something that people desire and something that people need. The need and desire is what drives is the pain that, that they're trying to relieve themselves of. I really want this thing, and if I can find it, I'll buy it. If I really need this thing, if I can find it, I'll buy it. So that pain that you're trying to address needs to be clear, because you don't want somebody to, again, be confused when they show up. So knowing what people desire alongside what service, product, or process you offer is super important when you're addressing pains. Needs are, like I said, with the house. If you have a plumbing issue, I need this, but there are 15 different plumbers to choose from in my area. So how do I know that you are the one to do this? You have to make some type of content that addresses and gives them an understanding that as a seeker, they can go to you to get this thing done. So what I'm saying here is this is about addressing your seeker. You're not trying to address everybody when you create content. Your seeker is who you're talking to. You see this whenever you target videos, like if you're putting videos up on YouTube and, you go in there and you build the audience out, your audience needs to be the people who are seekers. In the case of a plumber, homeowners. That is like the absolute first category of people, somebody who has a home. Because if you just say everybody, well, if I'm in an apartment complex or if I'm in a rented home, 9 times out of 10, there's supposed to be some type of property management that my hands are clean from the process. I just shouldn't need to hire you as a plumber to do that because I already have a system in place that I live under, right? So that seeker is who we're trying to address. That moves us to the next part here, where what story do we tell? Okay, what story do you tell? You tell a story that is going to resonate with the person that's seeking your service. It's going to connect with them. They'll be able to understand. I don't want to say empathize, but they'll be able to consume what you're saying as something they can relate to. It needs to be relatable. So I give an example of somebody in a networking group that I'm a part of, Liberty Networking here in South Carolina. They have a bookkeeping business, and that bookkeeping business addresses you balancing your books and making sure that everything that is within your business is settled on the book side, because realistically, the business owner needs to be focused on the business. Now, is bookkeeping part of the business? Yes, but it's not the main business. The example I used was a restaurant owner in, let's say, Palm Beach, Florida, or wherever. They have a successful restaurant. But you know what? Let's use this picture. This guy has a bike shop. He has a great setup. He sells good products. People come to him and they only go to him because he's the local guy. He fixes bikes quick, whatever the case may be. But on the back end, this guy is struggling with keeping up with his books. And to be a successful business owner, you want to be successful at what you do, but if you don't manage your books, then you as a business owner, it's gonna go bad. So if you're selling bookkeeping services, this would be a good opportunity for someone to go in and say, I am gonna tell a story of how awesome this person is, but they had this problem in the back that's holding them down. That goes back to that pain and desire. So this person desires to be what they created the business about, a bike repair person, or they wanted to own their own bike shop. But they absolutely do need some help in that bookkeeping part of their business. And then that's up to the person he's seeking. He may or may not be seeking it directly, but he has pain that he's dealing with. No matter how much he ignores the problem, it still is in the lingering background. And if you are the person selling the solution, you have to frame your content in a way that speaks to that person's desire and their needs. They will resonate with that. So that's the story that you want to tell. And if you're confused about how to find the story about that, I guess I'm a little confused as to what you would be selling that you wouldn't know. If you sell groceries, your grocery store provides food. People want food. And the next thing they probably want is affordable prices. If you sell coffee, you solve the coffee issue. You need to be there in the morning. You need to talk about how your coffee, your cafe is there for people when they first get up on their way to start their day, right? These are the stories you tell about how you can address that desire or the need of that person, the person being the customer. It's all about the customer. And I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to make sure we talk about like what story are we telling in our content? And that is the story that we should be definitely telling in the content. So then we move to, well, I got an idea of my story I need to tell. I know who my minimum qualified buyer is. Now I need to know, well, where do I put it? Well, I put this here on the scales because I personally think that from a marketer perspective, that the problem and the platform they balance each other out because every platform has a different purpose. Okay. So for our plumber would be promoting themselves on a platform that matters. And how do we know whether the platform matters? Well, who cares? If we're asking who cares about your service, your product, whatever, that problem exists somewhere. Now, I'd say Nextdoor as a option for service providers because it's all people living in neighborhoods. They might not all be homeowners, but they all live in a neighborhood. And it's a very high potential that they would reach a person who needs plumbing faster if they advertise there. So who cares? People's with homes, people with toilets, people with pipes, which is nearly everybody. You're going to want to be on a platform where the problem can be solved or people can share information about the problem to where they care. And then the next thing is, so what? Well, I do this and this is how I do it. And this is why I do it so that you can end up with no issues at your house. And this goes for every service, every type of industry. If you make and sell bulk t-shirts, someone is wanting to buy bulk t-shirts. I don't think they're going to be on LinkedIn looking for bulk t-shirts, right? So the problem for people finding bulk t-shirts, this problem does not live on LinkedIn. Where could that problem possibly live? That problem could possibly live on Facebook. It could possibly live on YouTube. So you got to go where the people who care about it are, and you have to understand like the so what of it. So what? Why is this important? It's important because we do it this way. This is our process and we're the best at it. And you need to deliver that information on the correct platform. If you absolutely find yourself confused about that, I'll actually, if you drop a message in the comments, I'll go ahead and I can send you something, or just DM me. I mean, I'm fine with that as well. But I think it's really clear. The people who care about the problem are going to be on the platform, and that's the platform you need to be on. It's not about what you're comfortable with. I run into business owners all the time that say, oh, I ain't really on Facebook. I'm not really on TikTok. Okay. I understand that you as a person don't want to participate in that social media, but you as a business owner need to connect with the people that are looking for what you do, and this is where they are. So you can go ahead and say, well, word of mouth has got me this far, and that's fine. Somebody might share your business on TikTok, but wouldn't you want to control the narrative? I would. I would want to control the narrative, and I would want to be there first to give them the best information, up-to-date information, everything, right? So if you're wanting to find out more about the platform to problem balance, you can send me a message, and I'll be glad to talk to you about it. That's on any platform: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm even on Nextdoor myself, but I don't really need to be there, but I'm there. So message me. Anyway, moving on. Now, when we talk about conversion impact, what is a great way? You think about yourself, right? Every year in America, we have this season where we start buying gifts, or we have things like Prime Week, or all of these incentive-based things are invented to create conversion and quickly create conversion. Because if you don't know that there's a sale and then you find out there's a sale, there's an absolute chance that you might buy something you never intended to buy within that time frame, because the incentive is so good that you're going to convert. Think about the person that's kicking in that door. That person is a seeker. That's a seeker. That's a person with a problem. That's a person that you have communicated well with on the correct platform. They're going to go ahead and kick that door in and convert on that purchase, because the incentive that you provided is there. Now, let me be very clear here. A lot of people like to provide blanket and very, very, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna say they aren't the greatest. It's not the greatest incentive. It's an incentive that makes you as a business owner feel comfortable. Say, oh, I'm at 10% off. I'm gonna say this, and it might be a little controversial, but if you only provide 10% off for something that you're selling, 9 times out of 10, it's a commodity. You don't have full faith in it being this groundbreaking, amazing thing, especially if it's a continued service. If you can get 10% off on your first service and that's all you can do, I don't know. I'd argue that you don't have that much faith and trust in your system, and you are more so just thinking about the money aspect of it. That's why you don't want to give up more. You don't want to. Let's say you're a soft wash company and you do houses. 30% off on your first one. If you sign up for a second one, whatever the case may be, if you know for sure your process is really that good, it's not going to be hard, because 30% off if you get your neighbor to sign up. 50% off. I don't know. The incentive just needs to be there to make people kick that door in. Because at the end of the day, if you set your price right, that incentive won't hurt you that bad. Again, I know that's going to be controversial, and I'm okay with it, but that incentive needs to be good. It can't be a crappy incentive. And that crappy incentive is not going to make people convert, because they're going to see it and they're going, oh, that's in there. I guess I could check that out later, but yeah, I ain't really that pressed about it right now, right? Buy one, get one free. Everybody likes to get something free. And another thing, I mentioned this in a public setting where I was giving this talk. If you have a free consultation and that consultation is just, it's lingering, it's there, it's always there, reframe it. Reframe that consultation to be something else. So if you sell bookkeeping, going back to that, if you sell bookkeeping, look into a tax saving audit, free tax saving audit. I mean, it's a possibility that person can be like, you know what? You have a lot of these things that you can get in line and do this, and that, and blah, 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 blah. Now they are aware of what they can get from you. And then you can sell them, and then they're going to kick your door in. That's the entire concept behind the incentive. If you don't understand that, I hope you get it. The incentive can't be weak. The incentive needs to be good. Because once you earn the loyalty of the customer, they're going to keep coming back. They're going to come back. So earn the loyalty and then let them be your champion. They will then tell everybody, oh yeah, we got 30% off the first time we did it. You definitely need to go with them. It's definitely a good deal. Boom. Now you have another customer. And by the time you have 2 more additional customers for that one customer you gave the discount to, the money is already coming back to you anyways. It's an investment for leads. It's an investment for conversions. Those conversions need to be impactful in order to reach that incentive. Okay. So I'm going to get off of that. Media type. I do digital and social. That's what I do, digital and social. But I have helped people with designs for billboards and, your posters. But I stick mainly in this realm here of digital and social just because of the reach alone, right? I make an example of, when will you ever sit on your couch and be advertised to about the gas prices in your local neighborhood? It won't ever happen. If it does, hit me back in the comments and say, hey, Shaka, you're wrong. It happened. They told me the gas prices. But where will they tell you the gas prices? On a billboard when you're on the highway. And I say that to say the location that you decide to put your content, whether it's video, photo, whatever, it needs to be in a place that's going to be where your seeker is. Your minimum qualified buyer. These people need to be there. And you, every time you drive down the highway, are a minimum qualified buyer to buy gas. That's why they advertise it to you. There's no question there. You're driving a car, you're using gas, you are the minimum qualified buyer. And if you can't pump it, 9 times out of 10, there will be a way for somebody to help you get it in your car. They're not going to miss that sale, and you need gas. It goes all the way back to the need, the pain situation, right? All the way back to the beginning from what I was talking about your desire and need. I'm on the highway. I'm about to run out of gas. I need this. I'm on the highway. I don't like going under a half a tank. I need this. So that's where they're going to advertise to you. That's where their content exists because it has to be there. That media type is set up to be in that place on purpose. So where you choose to advertise your business, also you should think about the media type with that. So the concept to content. Remember, I don't want us to get lost here. Moving on. This is the fun part. This is the part where everybody starts. Everything behind this that we already talked about, people forget. They don't think about that part. They're thinking like, oh, I want to make content, turn on my video camera, grab my phone, do all these things and get myself set up to make some content. Well, you got to do all of that stuff first so that you can get to this part. If you get to this part, you've already done all of the work. You've already done everything that is required for the concept. Now, you've probably heard these before. In creating content, you need to have a hook. You need to have a story. The hero is always your customer. It's not you. People think that my business is the hero. I came and saved the day. No, they are smart and they are the person that cares about their desire and their need. So they selected you, but they win. We are here to make the customer win, right? And then you get to your CTA. You see these folks on the starting line. This call to action needs to make them actually take movement. I want these people to go. So the hook here is I need to snatch you out of your day. I need to make sure that you understand that I need your attention. So if you're a financial advisor and you have a system already built to help somebody reach $1 million in 24 months, you're going to say something like, in 24 months, you could be a millionaire. Boom. Now you have the hook. The person, the seeker that's looking for this information is going to take that hook and they're going to be like, okay, you got me. Now tell me the story. So you're going to tell that story. You're going to talk about how adjusting certain things in life, you can reach these different levels, or whatever the process is from A to Z, from 1 to 100, whatever the process is to get through your customer's journey, you're going to talk about that. And then you're going to highlight how they are the hero. You're going to make your family proud. You're going to make yourself feel better when you realize that this entire time you've been missing out on this information, and better yet, you can go on and help somebody else. Everybody loves the idea of being the one on the upper hand. And if your service genuinely makes them have an upper hand, you put them in that hero position. But now, as a viewer, I've already heard all of this. You got me. You hooked me. You told me the story. You told me how I can be a hero. Now I need to know how to work with you. I need to know how to work with you. And let me tell y'all, the story in and of itself is very important. The story is so important. And when I say story, I don't want you to think you got to tell some mystical story, but you have to explain how you help them, because when they get to this CTA, they're going to want to have the experience to move freely. If you're in a race, you don't say go and then start you start snatching people's shoes off and getting in their way. No. If I'm asking you to take action, I don't want to be in your way. Your process for actually bringing in this customer needs to be good. Because why waste all the time hooking them, telling them the story, telling them how they could be a hero to go to the CTA and then drop the ball? And then they end up saying, you know what? I know somebody else that does this exact same thing. Let me go see what they did. You basically just did all the work for your competitor, because your CTA, your process, your onboard process isn't good. So if your back end is not good, this CTA doesn't mean anything. What do I mean by that? If I go to if I see all of this and let's say it's a paid ad. I watched it. I got the hook. You told me the story. I'm the hero. Got it. Now you tell me to click the link below. I click the link and I end up on the homepage of your website. What does that do? That doesn't do anything. It doesn't take me to the offer. So the content that you've created needs to have a place where you're directing them. If you're directing them just to check out your website, so be it. But if you are asking them to take action and buy something, do not require the person, the seeker, the minimum qualified buyer, to then go and do a whole bunch of work to pay you. It needs to be smooth. It needs to be effortless. And something else, if you get them to convert, what else do we need to do? We need to make them understand that, again, they are the hero. That message after they make a payment needs to let them know they made a great choice, and that because they trusted you, you're going to take care of them, and their best, and they are in great hands with you. Now, I just did all of this to talk about making content. If you are going into the next year, 2026, as a business owner, you're not sure about what your marketing is supposed to look like. I have been working very, very hard to put together a personal project. The Marketing Mix 2026 is going to be a robust, digitally available. It's not going to be printed. There's not going to be a print there. It's going to be digitally available to everybody who wants to have a guide for marketing in 2026. And why is this important? Because if you don't exactly know what you're doing with marketing in general, this is going to include a few things. I need to get my note right quick. This is going to include an AI prompt pack. There's going to be over 50 prompts that you can just use to set yourself up in the AI side of things. We're going to be talking about marketing, the market mindset. This is going to include also the Haters Journal. The Haters Journal is it's a way for you to accept negative feedback, and it's a way for you to adjust, because sometimes negative feedback is good feedback. Sometimes you need to fix something, just like we just got done talking about with your CTA being broken. Sometimes you need to fix some things. The Super 7, which is the 7 P's of marketing, and what I call Connect 4, which is the 4 C's. And then what we just talked about just now, but in a deeper way, the concept of content. If that's something that sounds good to you, I invite you to go ahead and check it out. It will be available on www.getlifted.com in December. It will not be available until then. There will not be any way for you to access it. You won't even see anything on the website about it. Okay, but it will be available in December. If that's something that you're interested in grabbing, please, I'm asking you to. I really would appreciate it. And if you trust me with the information that I'm providing, that product is going to get you, access to me 24 hours a day, because I'm there. I'm inside the product. Okay. Well, until next time, thank you guys for checking this out. I will see you later. I'm Shaka with Lifted Marketing Management here in Columbia, South Carolina. You have a great rest of your week, day, wherever you are. Just be great.